Hey everybody, so welcome to another little mini lesson. One of the things that I've been asked quite a lot about recently was practice routines, just ways and concepts to practice, and there's a very basic thing to look at before we even look at building a practice routine, but just an approach to how you practice. And I'm just going to throw this out there as something that, in my opinion, is one of those things that if you adopt it as a general kind of modality to practice with, is to aim to play stuff with a great sound, with a great tone. To play things, when you're practicing, you may not play it perfectly, but aim to make a great sound when you play something. So in other words, if you're playing something as simple as, let's say, just going up and down a major scale or arpeggios based on a major scale, try and play that really well. So if you're playing something like A flat major up and down the neck, try and make a good sound, fret it cleanly, So what I'm doing here, I'm sure you can see this, I'm really trying to get my fingers right behind the frets, get nice, clean notes, like that. No fret buzz, no extraneous noise other than what's unavoidable. And adopt that approach. You play well. Try and play, if it's not something where you're really struggling to find the notes, but I find playing with a sense of pulse and continuity. If I'm trying to play a phrase, or let's say I'm playing an arpeggio, let's say I'm trying to play G minor major 7 up the neck. There, right? I want to try and make that clean and make the shift nice as well, so it's fairly imperceptible if possible. So again, I play with a sense of pulse with continuity. I might make it a little, stretch that tempo, a little more kind of rubato at the end, but I really want to make it sound musical, get the notes sounding really good. And my feeling with this is, if you're playing through something, an exercise, if we try and play it as well as we can all the time, we adopt a mindset that when you come to playing a gig or a recording or whatever, you're already in that mindset of creating a good sound. There's that thing of sort of practicing sloppily or noodling, as some of my students have called it, where they say, well, I've been noodling around with this idea, and it's like, well, just that alone makes it sound like it's not a very focused practice session straight away. Whereas if you say, well, I was working on ideas for playing over an A flat major 7 chord, and I was playing around with Lydian concepts, or I was tackling or I was approaching a Lydian concept, right? Give yourself something definite to work with. Like, let's say, okay, I'm going to use the Lydian mode over this. Maybe I'll look at the triad pairs derived from Lydian, like the 2 consecutive major ones off the root and the second if we're in Lydian, as an example, right? So I might go, okay, so I've got an A flat major triad, which is here, and then I've got a B flat major triad right next to it. I might work through these, through the inversion. So this is root position, root 3rd 5th, root 3rd 5th, and then first inversion with the 3rd in the bass, 3rd 5th octave root, up to B flat 1, 3rd 5th octave root. Then we do the second inversion, starting on the 5th, E flat, A flat, C, right? F, B flat, D, and then we're back to root position an octave higher, A flat, C, E flat, B flat, D, F. Now, I'm not playing this in time with a metronome, but as I play each one, you see, I'm trying to play these. I'm not stumbling between the notes in the triad, right? I'm trying to connect them together to make sure I can do that. If you can't, slow it down until you can connect these things. One of the things I always say to students is play the exercise, the line, whatever you're working on, at the slowest tempo where you can connect everything. That's why I'm talking about playing with a sense of pulse. You don't want to be stumbling, like playing something really fast the first half. Let's say you half note A flat Lydian, you go, and then you're like, oh, what's the next 2 notes? Is it that note? Slow it down so that you know what you're playing. And then you combine that with saying the notes. So you go A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat. And then try saying the degrees of the scale you're on. Root, 2nd, major third, sharp 11, perfect fifth, major 6, major 7, and the octave, you see? So these approaches of trying to play stuff really well as you can, create a great sound, try to make it sound fantastic, sound beautiful, really good. So it's not just a scale, not just an arpeggio exercise, for example, but you're trying to make these sound great. You're working on your tone at the same time, connecting between shifts. Think about the way a classical musician plays stuff. If you watch, or if you even know anyone who's a great classical player, sit and listen to them practice something. I always used to notice at school, because there was a really strong classical music department, that the guys and girls who were amazing there, that, when they were playing a scale or an arpeggio exercise, I mean, their time was incredible. Their rhythmic placement of everything, the note quality, the note length was amazing, And these were sometimes people in their early teens, or they might be 11 playing Rachmaninoff, So I think we should adopt a little bit of the same approach on the bass guitar, and really try and play things excellently all the time, Now, of course, we can't always, and there'll be mistakes, but we aim for that, aim to create a great sound the moment you pick that instrument up. So if you're running through... See there, I'm going through just 2 octaves of a major scale, but I'm trying to play smoothly, cleanly, use consistent shifting. When I reach the top, not, like fluff that note. Give it a, here's Lydian. B flat Lydian. And I can smooth that out. Or, see, I played this bit on the G string, those last 6 notes. But I could play, and then I could play those last 3 notes only on the G string, and the ones preceding it on the D, E, and F notes, right? Okay? So there's 2 different fingerings. Or, so you see with that 2 octaves, that Lydian mode, I'm trying to look at ways to play the same thing but with different fingerings and really make it sound as good as I can as I'm practicing this. So try those approaches, slowing it down to the slowest point in whatever line you're trying to play your idea, so that you connect between the part you might find easy and then the part that's giving you difficulties. Aiming to get a great sound, like playing stuff as beautifully as you can, Don't kind of switch off when you're practicing. That thing about noodling sort of implies just kind of putting on the television or video, watching Netflix or something, and just not really focusing on the instrument. Focus on the instrument. I think you're better off doing half an hour of super focused practice than noodling for 3 hours. That's my opinion. I never really noodle a lot. If I'm going to improvise or practice playing over a set of changes, I give myself a specific set of changes to play on. I don't just noodle. I don't just jam on an F chord. It's like if I'm playing like that, I'm not really getting inside tackling a specific problem or idea. Like I said to you, let's say you do A flat Lydian. You want to go, well, I'm going to work on those 2 triads, the A flat major and the B flat major triad, which are inherent in that A flat Lydian scale, that pair. Run through those inversions slowly, like I showed you. That's a great exercise to really make sure you understand the triad involved and the inversion, and then the triad pairs. You see them together on the neck, and then you can come up with some great ideas with them. Don't forget, you can hit me up at rufusphilbert.com. There's DVD downloads, direct downloads. There's PDFs available, and you can hit me up also about lessons too.